All right, so let's talk about the tournament that happened in Shanghai. Oh yes, my food. You know, James has a really good Mexican place nearby.
Oh, is that where you got it from?
Yes.
From Tacos Por Favor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the veggie burrito is a little underwhelming.
Oh, really? Oh, so they're really about their meat then.
Yeah, I should have just gotten... I was thinking about getting asada, and I just was
surprised.
like, I'll get veggie.
I thought Tacos Por Favor closed at 8.
Oh, yeah. I was doing a little bit of work there. I got there at like 7:30 and
okay.
had some dinner and reviewed some contracts and stuff.
Oh, look at you.
Basically what happened was I left for the gym too early. I just budgeted my time wrongly.
Okay.
And I had like an hour to kill, and so I thought, okay, I'll go get some Mexican food and do some work. And I messed up by getting the veggie
next
burrito.
time you do that, let me know. I'm going to have you buy a burrito for me.
Sure.
And then bring it over here, dude. Seriously.
Will do.
Yeah, it's actually a really famous place, Tacos Por Favor. A lot of people know. It's like one of those secret places that if you're in the know in Santa Monica, you're like...
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. Only problem with it is there's no air conditioning in there.
Yeah.
So a lot of times in the summer when I used to walk over there all the time, because I literally can just walk there.
Yeah, it's very close.
It's really good, so, but yeah.
Well, now everybody knows where you live.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Good luck finding my place amongst the tons of homes in that area.
Yeah. Anyway. So, CPT, Capcom Pro Tour.
That's right.
Qualifier for the Asia Cup in Shanghai. The Shanghai qualifiers.
Yes.
It was July 31st, a.k.a. this past weekend. A lot of strong players were there. It was actually a really stacked event.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I remember...
Street Fighter 4.
That's right now. I remember I was streaming Splatoon while it was happening, and a lot of people were like, I don't see anybody. The only person I see is Tokido. It's the only person... I guess it just took a while to get them once they finally started all showing up on
It didn't... I don't think it had a stream.
Oh, did it not have a stream?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Because it says here, due to venue limitations, Capcom won't be providing a live stream, but it'll be up at GameStart Asia's YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I heard that there were some problems with it. I didn't watch it, so so there you go.
Okay.
I do know, interesting, they did the whole tournament except for grand finals on the same day.
Oh, that's weird.
They did the top 16 on Friday, and then they did grand finals on Saturday.
They just saved the very final match.
Yeah.
I really hope it was like a 1st to 10 or something
I don't know.
to make it epic.
I don't know. But like I said, it was... no, it was first 3. Like I said, it was really stacked. So here's your top 8. Razor Fudo, 7th. Fei Long. 7th also KOK with Sagat, Evil Ryu, Rufus. 5th was QQEL, Doyu TV, QQEL with El Fuerte. Then 5th also Kamba Doyu TV, Dako with Evil Ryu and Akuma. Then 4th was CCG Human Bomb, Sakura. 3rd was Mad Catz Tokido with Akuma. 2nd was Kamba Doyu TV Xiaohai with Evil Ryu. Winner, Razor Shen with Gen.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. Good stuff. But
so he takes his home event.
You know what's missing from there? Any U.S. players?
Well, I totally agree with you. I wish that American players would travel more, because they don't. They expect everybody to come to the U.S. like we do for everything.
Yeah.
And you know what? That doesn't work out in our favor very often.
Yeah, and let me talk to you about the Capcom Pro Tour standings right now. Look, it's Asian player, Asia. There's a reason for that, and it's not necessarily that they're better than us. It's that they're actually coming out to our events and taking points.
I mean, they probably are better than us.
Yeah,
but
they are. Yeah, but
not
by enough that it would be this disparate if the U.S. actually traveled to other countries. You know what I mean?
Dude, I think you're probably right about that. It certainly wouldn't be as bad as it is, but hey, it's terrible. Yeah. So nobody wants to travel. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it continues to be the deal. And Shen won it. Shen is, I'm sure, getting towards the top of the Capcom Pro Tour rankings. Obviously, Evo, he did not make top 8.
Right.
At every other event, he's made top 8 or top 3. Like his year has been really, really strong. Even at Evo, it wasn't like he did poorly.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
I mean,
he
lost. Yeah, he just lost to unfortunate matchups. I mean, one of them he lost to Snake Eyes, which is kind of like his demon, right? So yeah, if the bracket had just gone another way, Shin could have easily made top 8.
100%.
So,
yeah, absolutely agree with that. I'm really happy for him because he is a really good player, and he continues to have a lot of success. And we were having this conversation.
Yeah, no, I was about to bring this up. Yeah.
We were talking about who our sort of top 5 all-time SF4 players have been throughout the lifetime of SF4.
Vanilla all the way through Ultra. You know, who's had the best consistent results.
Yeah. Right. And everybody put Daigo.
Right.
Everybody put Infiltration. For me, Shen is in that same conversation.
Right.
He's like right up there with those two. Because he had the year of Shen in the same way that Infiltration had the year of Infiltration. And since then, he's been very consistent. He's still winning these big things. I mean, I mentioned the people who were there. It was really strong.
Right.
And it's always like that. He always does really well, even when there are strong people. So he not only had the whole year that he dominated and won EVO, but since then, he's been like right up at the top.
Right, he's been consistent.
So, for me, he's in that top 3. I think that's the top 3.
Yeah. The only reason why I didn't put him in there was because no one knew who he was between Vanilla and Super, right? It was AE that he showed up. But he was always good back then.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good. So,
but you're right, he got a lot better. I mean, he was a young dude. But
but I remember we talked about it a little bit more, and after a while I was like, no, you're right. Shin totally deserves to be up there.
Because you think about it, Infiltration wasn't in there for Vanilla. It wasn't until sort of like late Super that he started to really make his name.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until AE that he started winning everything. And
dude, someone actually says that Fudo used Sagat versus Elena.
How about that?
Hey, that's a counter pick. That's one of the reasons why you pick
Faye.
Elena, right? It's because she apparently blows up Fei Long. And we even saw that at EVO when it was Hamad. I think it was against Kandevu. Kandevu did low roundhouse, and Hamad tried to wreck him back, and it just didn't work. So, but I actually did have Gamer B in there. I had put PR Balrog in there as well because. So I know you don't necessarily agree, but like the people that I put in there were definitely the ones. So the 4 people that for me were locks.
Okay.
Were Daigo, Infiltration, PR Balrog, and Gamer B because they've had the most top 8s at EVO. Everybody.
Well,
So that was why I put them in there. And then 5th spot, I had initially picked Tokido. It was between Tokido, Xian, and Momochi. And I picked Tokido just because I know that he had been doing well since Vanilla, but Momochi's success is a little higher. But then Xian, like you said, that 5th spot is like totally up for grabs for me.
For me, it's a pretty clear top 5.
Right.
Actually, maybe it's a clear top 4 where it's Daigo, Infiltration, Shen, Momochi, and then at that point, I want to say like Gamer B or Tokido, or then the number 5 is a little bit up in the air for me, but certainly the 4 I think is the 4.
And it's funny, too, because I didn't put Xian up there. And I remember distinctly when we were doing commentary, me and Seth, after Xian lost to Snake Eyes. I was actually lamenting on stream that I just don't feel like Xian gets the credit that he deserves.
I agree with that.
Because I feel like out of all the EVO champions, he's like one of the ones that people are kind of like not as big on, like compared to
totally
like
right.
Everyone's like, oh, Infiltration, Momochi, oh my god, all this, but for some reason people don't want to give Shin the same credit. And then what do? I go and I do the exact same thing I lamented about. I didn't give him the credit he deserved, and I'm actually you're right. Now that we've talked about, I would probably put him 5th in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I feel like other candidates are like.
Yeah, Luffy. Obviously, a lot of people have complained about, but that's
him being top 5.
No, being not as good, like kind of like Shin not getting the credit he deserved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shin and Luffy are probably the 2 most.
That's probably true.
Yeah, for sure.
But I feel like Gamer B and Tokido and Sako and Fudo and probably Kazunoko now, and there's I feel like there's a top 10 there that, like, in my opinion, maybe arguably has an American, and I'm not sure about that.
So you still wouldn't even put PR Rog in the top 10?
He's definitely the one who I would. He's the highest American,
right? Yeah,
for me, but. Maybe.
That's all I got. He's done too consistently well at EVO.
He's very good.
He's had one bad year at EVO.
I know.
Right? But outside of that, he's top 8, 4 times now?
100%, you're right.
That's
he's
not
very,
easy.
very good.
That's so awesome. That's not easy, so, yeah.
I don't think I would put Bonchan up there. Anyway, this is all a different story.
Okay, yeah, but anyways, we're digressing again, so.
Yeah.
As we tend to do.
We do tend to do that. What else happened?
Okay. In terms of events that happened, not necessarily fighting game related, was Summer Games Done Quick, which completed this past weekend. It is a speedrunning slash, I don't even want to call it speedrunning necessarily, speedrunning slash video game skill exhibition kind of event. You know, that's kind of where it's gotten at this point, where it's just a video game skill exhibition kind of thing.
I mean, people are speedrunning, but it's a marathon, and so, you know,
Right.
and some of them were specifically, you know, they were saying it taking time to, like, show off things in the game.
I mean,
they
even
do
like Tetris isn't a speed run, right? Like the Tetris block is just like,
true.
hey, look how good we are at Tetris,
That's
right?
true.
But basically they do that. Just taking donations the whole entire time. They read donations on streams. You can donate to all these different contests and categories, like what to name characters and things, and whether you want to kill or save the animals in Super Metroid, which is always like one of the highlights of the tournament. Super Metroid, that is. And they take donations, and sure enough, this year another extremely successful summer event. So it happens twice a year.
Indeed.
There's Awesome Games Done Quick and Summer Games Done Quick. This was SGDQ, Summer Games Done Quick. They broke $1 million in donations.
They broke 1,200,000.
Oh, really? Okay,
Indeed.
okay. So they broke 1.2, and yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff to them. Again, it's you know, my favorite thing about Games Done Quick, the Games Done Quick crew, is that to me it really is like the best love letter to video games that's out there right now, because they don't play the newest things necessarily. They play everything, and they show how much people love the games to the point where they're so stupidly good at them. You know, and you know, depending on the person, obviously, but it can be very fun to listen to people talk about it and just be like, oh, this is what they were supposed to do. Oh, this bug was found this way. You know, it's just a lot of cool things. Unfortunately, Twitch is banned at my job, so I can't watch a lot of it, and it really sucks. But I mean, just because I'm not watching it doesn't mean I can't appreciate it, doesn't mean I can't talk about how awesome it is, and doesn't mean that I can't recommend that everybody should continue to watch the Games Done Quick events that they put on. So
I watched a ton of it.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
I did. My office is just my office, and sometimes it's just my apartment if I'm feeling lazy. So I was just watching stuff while I was doing other stuff, and you know, oftentimes I wasn't able to concentrate necessarily. But if I heard them say that some game I was interested in was coming up, then I would pay attention. Or if I was just on lunch break or whatever it was, you know, if I had 5 minutes to spare, I would watch it. So I watched a lot of it, and it was awesome. It's always awesome.
Right.
It always is awesome, and I would say that my favorite were the Mario 64.
Mario 64 is always ridiculous.
It's just, look, here's the thing about that game, is I feel like it's just so good in movement. The movement in that game is just amazing. And obviously at the highest skill level, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it looks like a blast. It looks like you could just go in there and just do crazy stuff, and it would be fun. You could just spend hours doing that.
Yeah.
But even, you know, I'm not anything fancy in that game, certainly. But I remember having a blast moving around myself, and I went back and played it maybe a couple years ago, and it was still like that. You know, it was just such a well-designed game for movement. It's so fun. So I really enjoyed them moving around.
The way that Miyamoto designed this game, I think, is the most brilliant thing ever, because he designed every stage so that there was the way you're supposed to beat the level, but he couldn't care less if you found a better way.
Right.
It wasn't designed so that the stage prevented you from skipping things or doing things. He just didn't care. One of my favorite conversations I've ever had was with my friend Kevin at UCLA, old school Mortal Kombat player, right? And we used to hang out all the time, and we talked. One day we were sitting there at lunch, and we were talking about we were both playing Super Mario 64 and beating all the stages and everything like that. And then every stage that we ran into, we were what?
You're at college.
Yeah, I was in college. Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah. But basically, we were talking about how great this game was, and not great. How great we were talking about how we beat every level.
Oh yeah.
And every level, we were like, "Wait, what? You did? How did you do that?" Like, wait, huh? Like, there was one stage where there's a hidden invisible block that puts the levels up that lets you get to somewhere. He never found that invisible block. And he was like, I worked so hard to get that star because, like, I didn't even know. He was like, what? And then, you know, the clock level where the only way to get to the star at the very top was to make sure the clock was moving and stuff like that. I couldn't be bothered. I figured out how to get that star without the clock moving because I was just like, this is too painful. So I actually just triple jump my way everywhere, and they let you do it. And, you know, they did not purposely design the levels to prevent you from doing any of this stuff. That's what makes it genius, and that's why it's one of the best games to speedrun, because you have all the options in the world. They didn't care, and they just let you do whatever you wanted. And then when you learn that kind of movement, it's ridiculous.
I sort of wonder if that was on purpose, or if it was that idea of, like, the 3D platformer was just brand new, and they didn't know how to do it.
That's true, too.
I wonder which one it was.
That is true.
Because another one that I really liked watching was Mario Sunshine. And I think we've talked about this, but we both really liked that game, right?
I love Sunshine.
Yeah.
I love it a lot.
And I feel like that game didn't get that much respect at the time. I knew a lot of people who didn't like it.
Yeah, same here.
And it was awesome to see them do it without hovering.
That's right. That was one of the things you could vote on with your donations, right? It was with hover or no hover.
Yeah, it was no hover. So they had to beat some things in clearly not intended ways.
Oh, dang. Okay,
Yeah,
I need
really
to YouTube
sick.
that. I need to YouTube that.
Yeah, you should. It's all up. Yeah.
Dang.
You can just search SGDQ or just maybe Games Done Quick on YouTube, and you'll get the whole channel. They already uploaded everything.
Dang,
it's already up there.
Cool. That's really cool.
So those were, I think, my favorite of the whole one. Maybe I really like watching Yoshi's Island. I just think that game looks like it's a blast too.
The SNES one?
Yeah.
The SNES Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island is probably the greatest Super Nintendo game made. I'm like, it's not necessarily my favorite, but from a technical standpoint and from an artistic standpoint, it's so good.
It's very free. I like in terms of how you can move around.
Oh, okay. So. I was like, wow, that game was hard.
No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Yeah, I feel like you have a lot of options in
this
that
is
game.
your week to brag about your gaming skills, right? So no, because I mean, they made a Yoshi's Island like pseudo sequel on the DS, and I played it, and I put it down. I was like, this is blasphemy, and I just like put it away.
I never played it.
Because they ruined everything about it. Because I'm getting into the whole artistic rant again, but like what they did with Yoshi's Island, like the fact that he walks differently when he goes upstairs, and like just all these little subtle touches were so good in that game, and they were all gone from that DS sequel, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, I remember on the run, Triax was saying that there are sprites in that game that are made for 2 uses. That they just spent all the time to make these sprites for exactly 2 times. You know, I mean, that's something that very few games did.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and in fact, every song in that game has the drunk version in it throughout the whole entire thing. Touch Fuzzy, Get Dizzy. Yeah, there was those stages with those little white balls in front, and you touched it, and all of a sudden it was like...
The drunk version.
And every song had that
right.
from beginning. So they actually had to program those whole songs in there just so they could switch to it and switch back for this mechanic they use in like 3 stages. Yeah. It's so good, dude.
And then I actually also really like watching them speedrun new games, because it's impressive to see how quickly they break stuff.
Right.
I just think that's really cool. You know, it's sort of they've like developed enough lingo and knowledge for breaking games that when a new one comes out, they have ideas about how to approach and like how to look for stuff that's commonly broken.
Yeah,
I think that's super cool. So, anyway, it was an awesome weekend.
Yeah, and another thing too, it's really kind of in line with everything fighting game players do.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's not a coincidence that there were a bunch of people who are in SGDQ, Games Done Quick, etc.
Clage, for example.
Who are fighting game players or have been, or you know, there's a lot of overlap between the two communities. Makes total sense.
All you try to do is break games.
Right.
That's all you're just trying to do is just outsmart the programming. I mean, that's what option selects are. You're just outsmarting.
Right. We were just talking about alpha counters, right? And because of all the experience of Alpha 2, now when alpha counters are in SF5, what are we going to do? We're going to look for Choi Versal or whatever. Because we have enough experience now. So it's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of similarity. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. So okay, cool. But
there's overlap in community. It's the people. That's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of overlap in people. When I was watching that stream, I recognized a bunch of faces.
Oh,
even people
cool.
who maybe I don't know them personally, but I've certainly seen them at events.
Right. Oh, who was it? It was who was the speedrunner that played that used to always do speedruns on like spooky streams and stuff like that? Ah, jeez, I feel terrible that I can't remember his name now. Anyways, okay.
Anyway, so
hopefully I'll remember.
Congrats to them. It was 1.23 million, if I recall correctly. I think that's what I read. $1,233,135.
Funk Doc.
Funk Doc,
of course.
yeah.
Yes, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh the Funk Doc. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you, stream. I can always count on the stream.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So that was very cool.
Yeah, and congratulations, over $1 million. Doctors Without Borders. Very, very, very good foundation. So, yeah, cool.
I told my dad to watch it. So he and I used to always play Link to the Past. And they were speedrunning Link to the... We just played a few months ago when I went home.
That's so crazy.
And they were speedrunning Link to the Past, 100%. And I was like, texting, I was like, hey, Dad, they're going to speedrun Link to the Past in under 2 hours. They're going to beat the whole thing. And it's all for Doctors Without Borders. You should check it out. And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm a doctor with borders. Doing work right now. I can't watch. I was like, good stuff.
Dude, I can't believe that. So you spent the weekend telling your dad to watch that. Yeah. I spent the weekend trying to teach my dad what the concept of digital was. I was literally explaining to him, like, digital doesn't exist. It's all ones and zeros. Because my dad is looking for a dual cassette tape deck so that he can transfer audio cassettes to audio cassettes because his broke. You can't buy this stuff anymore, dude. Like, you can't. Yeah. And, you know, I was like, Dad, I could get all of your tapes and put them on here. I could put all of them on here. Yeah. And he was like, well, I don't understand. Yeah, anyways. But yeah.
All right. Well, enough about SGDQ.
I did play Super Mario Brothers 1 with my dad, though. So he did play that a little bit. So yeah.
So yeah, that was digital.
Yeah. Anyways.
Evo numbers.
Yes. So Fishsticks just tweeted this out. I don't have them here.
I got them.
Oh, I think I do have them, but if you have them, then you can go for it. So.
Yes, sir, I do. Written up by one Ben Goldhaber, a.k.a. Fishsticks, as you said. One of the lead dudes at Twitch. And he had really interesting stats for Evo viewer numbers.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we knew that there were quite a few people watching at the time, but it's good to get the official Twitch numbers.
Right. And let's set the story properly here. 2 years ago is when... So 3 years ago, we got to about like 99,000. And we were like, let's break 100,000, please. And we didn't.
And we did not. It was very close.
We missed it. The year after that, we did break it.
Yeah.
We finally got to about 110 or 107 or something like that, right? Or it was something like 120 maybe,
yeah, I think it was
right?
120.
It was 120. And so, you know, the next year after that, I was like, yo, we're going to get to like 150. And it got to about 120. It was like the same as the previous year. And I was like, oh, man. You know, I was like a little concerned. So I was really curious how the numbers were going to go this year. And, you know.
Here you go.
Yeah.
All right. So total views. Now, I should say, I don't know how they do these numbers. And I imagine that they're doing the numbers in such a way as to, like, maximize what they are.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like, they're not going to skimp on any numbers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, but with that in mind, total views, 18,854,340 for a 112.8% increase compared to last year. Probably more importantly, unique viewers, 3,888,620 for a 66.7% year-on increase.
That's so cool.
That's big. Yeah, I feel like that's a more substantial number or just concrete number maybe than total views.
Because a lot of people are going to have multiple streams open.
Right.
And that's going to count as multiple views. But when you go for unique, then all of them are combined under one person, and so the unique to me is really what matters. And
I think that's
3 million people,
3.88 million people,
almost 4 million people
Almost.
watched Evo.
Almost.
That's insane.
Isn't it crazy how once numbers get up to a certain point, you want to say that they're almost there? Like this is off from 4 million, as many as viewers of Evo in total, like 4 years ago. But right, in terms of absolute numbers, but it's just it feels like we're growing enough that 4 million is like, yeah, next year we'll hit 4, we'll hit 5, whatever. Anyway,
sure.
Minutes watched, 350,687,100.
Dang.
For a 63.8% year-on increase, and then peak concurrent viewership, 248,000 for a 75.2% year-on increase. That is huge.
Yeah, because remember, like I said, I said that we went from like 120 to 120, and it wasn't as much of an increase as I was hoping it was going to be. Granted, last year I think there was something on that was the same weekend that was like some important thing on TV or something. I can't remember what it was.
No, there was like a Dota stream or something.
Oh, was it a Dota? Okay. But 75% increase. That's crazy. We almost doubled. Like if you think about that, that's crazy. So, that's a lot. And of course it's concurrent, and that means that there were many streams going on at once. Was that including the Japanese stream as well? Are those numbers including the Japanese stream?
I believe it is, because he specifically says that Evo broke new ground as the first official Japanese language feed on Twitch was there.
Right. Okay. So cool.
Probably includes that, but.
Yeah, it was the World Cup last year.
Oh, it was World Cup. Maybe it was a couple years ago that there was some like League or Dota, or Counter-Strike or something that in that. Oh, maybe was it MLG?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you know what the craziest thing too is that doesn't even include a lot of the side streams that went on. The Mad Catz booth streamed a lot of stuff as well. They had a lot of side tournaments. A bunch of people were doing side streams at Evo. So there's a lot of streaming going on there. So there was definitely it's exciting to see where it's going and how much it's growing. So.
Yeah, we just had a big conversation yesterday on Twitter about how to improve streams and tournaments and what the priorities are and how to go about doing all that stuff. It's very interesting, and clearly a lot of people want to improve things. We see a lot of potential for improvement. Certainly I do. I know a lot of other people do as well. But at the same time, this is a good reminder that, actually we're on a pretty good road already. That even as there are plenty of things to fix, and there certainly are. I say as our screen is flickering, just it's happening right now. Even as there are many things to improve, there are some good things to note. That there has been this growth. Yeah. And that there are more players. Probably more importantly for us is that there are more players than before. And, that in part means, but also on top of that, there are people watching in addition. There's just a lot of good stuff.
I mean, I've told the story many times now that in 2008, I literally was staring at Evo wondering if this was going to be the last of the fighting game players. Like, I thought after everybody who was there got old and that was it, because there was no new
games.
And then Street Fighter 4 came out and, things changed. So.
They did. They certainly did. So I'm really happy with those numbers. I in general expect, and I'm fine with, more gradual growth. I feel like whenever you and I get interviewed, they're always like, where do you see the future of fighting games? And I'm always like, more or less in the same spot next year. Maybe we'll have like a few more viewers and a few more players, but nothing crazy. But here's a 75% year-on increase in concurrent viewership. So I feel like a pretty big change.
I could say like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, it was probably like me, you, and Mike Ross, all of us like sitting in a circle just talking about how like we're going to be old and gray before this fighting game community ever gets really big.
Oh yeah, I remember whole conversations about how like we had to be the people.
The martyrs, basically.
That's basically how we phrased it. It's kind of silly in retrospect.
But, of course.
But that is how we phrased it. Where, we knew that we weren't going to get that much money for it, if anything, and it would just be a big drain on our time. And it would be fun, and we would
We're doing it just for fun, just for the future generation.
Exactly. Yeah, we thought that maybe in 20 years somebody will come along and he'll get to make a career as a player or a streamer or whatever.
But now
I feel like an idiot for that, but just for the phrasing.
But the craziest thing to me is just that I I never would have predicted this growth.
No,
I would have never predicted this growth in fighting games, and it's surprising even me. So I still try to be reserved whenever they like do those interviews. Like, where do you see it? I'm like, I'm still trying to like. I don't want to set myself up for like we're getting there, boys. We made it. And then,
well, I think that's good. I don't think that we should do that. I think it's better to, plan for big improvements and try to make those big improvements happen, while at the same time being grounded in what the plausible things are.
Yeah, and it's the best way to grow. There's a lot of people out there in the fighting game community in the past and currently still that are although less now I would say, but there are a lot of people who are in there to try to make money quick. Like they see like next year we're gonna be rich or whatever, and it's not a good way to approach it. You have to approach it slowly, and consistency is always the most important thing. Every time someone comes up to me and is like, how do I make my weekly scene gathering successful, or how do I make this event good, or how do I do something like this, and my answer is always, as long as you keep doing it, as long as you're consistent with it, that's how you be successful. If you're a streamer, you're going to be successful streamer if you stream more than once a week, and stuff like that. So it's all about consistency, and by playing it slow, you're going to be able to establish consistency more than like trying to be this flash in the pan miracle gigantic.
That's certainly how we've been dealing with it for the past several years, and I think that in general that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. That hasn't led to growth in everything. For example, we have about 1,000 viewers right now, and I remember in our first year we had about 1,000 average. Yeah. So whatever.
Well, that's why I said if you stream more than once a week. Look, I've told everybody before. You and I are perfectly aware why our audience doesn't grow. Because we stream once a week. It's whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So it's all good.
Screen flickering, and we're not like getting the top level players on here to play. Dude, all the time. That's not the point, though.
Dude, we're gonna start going to your house and stream. All right, from now on.
I got a new computer.
That's right, because you have a computer now, and it might be better than this, because computers go obsolete in like a day, right?
Yeah,
so,
I got a new computer.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. Good stuff.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, it finally actually, it's not entirely done. It's done and it's working and everything, but I thought that I would not need a cooler, and I do. It was running a little hot, so I ended up buying one, and it'll be here on Thursday, and then it'll all be done.
Okay, cool.
So in the meantime, I'm slowly installing programs, and I installed whatever stream program and work on that.
But this is just a good chance for a plug reminder. Both of us have been trying to stream more. Nothing official, just casual streams a little bit. Obviously, you haven't been able to because your laptop died and stuff like that. But now that you have it back, subscribe not only to UltraChenTV, but to jchensor and to UltraDavid, because obviously, if neither of us are streaming and one of us wants to, we'll use the UltraChenTV stream. But if we both feel like streaming at the same time, we'll both jump on the side streams from time to time. Yep. And, if we do, like, if we're both playing Splatoon, for example, then we'll definitely stream both at the same time. So, there you go.
Yeah, obviously I had a stock fan on my CPU. Like, it comes with that.
You're talking about like some when Mondo...
Yeah, guys, I just had a CPU, just hanging out there.
When Mondo helped me build the computer, he got me one of those water cooler crazy things.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's ridiculous.
That's fancier than I want to do, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I was just recommended that I probably didn't need it by a lot of people, because I got a bigger case than I need, and the case that I got came with a bunch of fans.
Right.
But,
But that's cool though. No,
I got a Hyper 212. That's what
nice.
Cooler Master Hyper Evo 212.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Because we'll be able to stream a lot more, like maybe some Rising Thunder and all these other things like that. So I did stream some Rising Thunder on the weekend earlier. First time I ever touched the game.
You want to take a break, and when we come back, we can talk about games?
Like Rising Thunder?
Yeah.
It's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, cool. We'll be right back.
Later.